The process of understanding is very simple. The process is, as I explained last time, I explained more in detail. We are created out of the rays within the center of the universe. In interaction and reduction in strength and division by the strength in certain strength fields, in collection of the totality of the expansion of the universe, some energies, some dynamic fields have come together. Over billions of years, these fields lead to the creation of what we call the sun. Where the plasma gathers together. The same process repeats again because the sun is the same as the energy center of the universe. Now, the heavier, the larger amount of the energy which is collected in this span of the universe, called the sun, that irradiates out, does the same thing again. Radiates its fields out, and in interaction with itself, with the fields of itself, leads to creation of planet. In that process of the creation of planet, the same process happens again. In the interaction of the fields of the earth with its environment and cooling and exchange with the strength of the other things in the environment of the space of the solar system, leads to creation of man, cell, matter state. And that itself, in coming together and slowing down in certain ways, as we call, leads to another sun. We call the soul of the man. This is the truth about the life and creation of the man. But if the soul of the man can understand and absorb and be correct with his conduct, he can become the strength of the fields and carry the strength of the field of the planet which came to his creation. And if the soul can understand with the same process, can interact, can be correct, can absorb with itself the totality of the strength of what it needs, he shall become the sun. And then the same soul has the energy that it can absorb within the solar system, within the galaxy, shall become the center of the universe. Earth, we call it the rain, come from and goes back to. In the solar system, we call it planetary system. We come from the rays, we become the planet, and we go back to the mother. The same thing happens with the galaxies. with the solar systems which they get absorbed back in and they chewed up back into the universe. The life, the process of existence in the universe is the same. It doesn't matter on what exchange and what extent. So, what is the man fighting for? Why do we fight for something which has come from the point of the creation, and in the process it goes back to the creation? The soul of the man, as the energy of the earth, gives the face of the man, the face of the earth, and that process is the same for the soul of the man. Our soul, in reduction in strength, in interaction with the emotion of the field of the environment, leads to manifestation of the existence of the man. But once it's completed, does it need the face? Or can it be and becomes free from it, what we call the soul of the man, be free and detached from its existence? Our soul is part of the process of the creation. The key to one question, who man shall be in the future, to be answered. As we saw, the sun became the earth, and as we saw, the earth became man's soul. What would be the destiny of the soul of the man now becomes free at the point of departure from physicality. Would it become the sun for creation of another life, or many lives, or correction of lives? This shall be, and this is how it happens. When you create a soul which is not correct, which is misconduct by itself, cannot give, you lead to the creation of this next cycle of creation, which has started the wrong way, the wrong strength. This is one thing the man has never understood. You become the creator of another universe, another cycle. And this is what you have to judge with the destruction of the soul of the man. What would I like that cycle to be? In the physical life, we create children. In the dimension of the life of the soul of the man, what that soul will create. If man has thought up to now, that's it, my end, my point, when I die is finished, there's as much fallacy that when the sun is destroyed in any shape or form, there shall be nothing left. But we know the part of the sun becomes part of the galaxy and becomes part of new life. So shall be the soul of the man. The judgment of the man has to be according to what he sees the future his soul can conduct to be. The day of judgment is for the man, not in front of the Creator. That what my soul judges to be and what shall create. Man never understood and shall never understand till can solve this dilemma within itself. The reality is very, very, very real. And that is, as we've seen, the energy of the galaxy become the sun, the energy of the sun has become the earth, and the energy of the earth has become the soul of the man. So shall be the soul of the man, which is the energy itself, another cycle of life. How can you change when you don't understand? How can you change the process of understanding if you do not understand the process of the creation? Do we need to extend the understanding of the man that what is the future he brings? We care about our children, what education they get, what they wear, how happy they'll be, where they sleep. Now the man has to be careful and consider, what life shall my soul create? Because those are the children of your soul. As we see, the rays of the sun has become a planet and 7 million children on it. 7 billion unlimited, which is growing. So the soul of the man will go through the same process. How many billions and subdivisions and sub-matter state of the physicality of the man your soul shall create? Would it be the soul of wars and conflict and forever killing? Or would it be the soul of this, let's say, solar system, which is peaceful? This is the truth and the reality about the soul of the man. First of all, as I said many times recently, we never understood that the soul of the man is within the structure of the man. And now that we understood, we understand on departure from the physicality of the man, the same process will carry on as it did for a star, a planet. And the soul of the man becomes another energy source, a higher order, which itself leads to the creation. It becomes the star, it becomes the center of the new cycle of creation. This is what the human race has to understand. The cycle actually starts at the point of death and not finishes at the point of death. In so many ways, if one understands, is as the dusts, specks of dust came together to make the earth in the solar system, so has the specks of the atoms has come to be the creator of the man. And the essence of the creation of the specks of dust on the solar system has led to the creation of the man. So shall be the fields from the soul of the man which lead to creation of another cycle of life. What kind of life man would like to have, to be created by his soul? This is the day of judgment. This is what man never understood. Now you have to understand. You have no choice. Up to today you were not aware of it. From today you are aware of it. You are responsible for it. Your conduct has to be to elevate your soul. That in elevating the soul, what you become the creator of stands correct in the conduct of asceticism. We don't give fairy tale. This is the truth. But as you've seen, the process does not stop with one sun. The cycle carries on. It's very interesting in how humanity now knows in fact to handle the fact. It'll take decades for man to understand, and then you understand those who become the tools of war, the tools of conflict. They have less, they have nothing to start with. They have to become the dust in the solar system of the others till the day they learn more, as they cannot create a new cycle through their own soul. This is the elevation of the soul of the man. To be part of the creation of a beautiful life for the next cycle. When you don't have it, you have to become another cell in the body of the structure of the bigger, for you to be just there that you can done when you could have been the soul of the man. They say, do not create fear. I give you the point of love for creation. If you cared about your children on this planet to have the best, your true children come out of your own soul in the coming time. How would you like to educate them? How would you like to be when you are in conflict with yourself and the cause of so much mayhem? This is the truth, and the man will take a long time to understand, as now that we understand the soul of the man is the operator for the creation of the future extent of the life of the man. Whatever is gathered by the soul at the end becomes his point of reference of his own creation of his own dimension. But the strangest thing is, what he creates from his soul shall become the creator of the other souls. This is the beauty about the creation, and one understands it, understands no limitation.
Welcome everyone to the 299th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, October 24th, 2019. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Krem, and I'll be one of your hosts today along with Flint Mulhausen. And as usual, we are honored to have our special guest here, Mr. Mayran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation. And I believe he's ready to go, as usual, for yet another Knowledge Seekers Workshop here. Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Good morning. Good day to you as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this Knowledge Seekers series of teaching. Today, as usual, we will go through what is to be shared as knowledge and what we have and what developments we have brought in. And in time, we can see how we can progress to the what I call next level of understanding of the work of physicality and the soul of the man, and eventually how this will lead us to better understanding of ourselves and our what we call destiny on this vast span of the universe. As usual, we go through steps by steps and try to understand more and see what is going on and what has happened and what is about to happen. As some of you might know already, and some of you might not know, this week we lost a lot of hope, but we gain more with a lot of things which happen around us. And a lot of things are developing in a good way. And in so many ways, we see progress in every direction for the foundation and many of those who are around the foundation. We have a what I call joyful news, but to some people looks to be sad as they look at the physicality. One of our close colleagues and what we call member of the core team, Sandor, and was elevated to the soul of the universal soul. We all know him. He is still in the dimension of physicality with us, but in so many ways, he has taken a path to elevation of his soul to a new dimension. It's not, in a way, a path which is not known to us. We all know this path, how we make our way to the universal community and to universal soul. As in the introduction video we saw, we have to understand the essence that in leaving a smaller piece as a dimension of physicality, we become a bigger part to create new cycle of life, to become part of the creation of the creator. In dimension of the soul, we led to the creation of cells in our body of the man, and once we depart, we become the creator of bigger structure. We become part of the universal soul, which allows us to be able to participate in the beauty of the creator, to be manifested across this universe, the spans of universe. A lot of us have very good memories of physical time of Sandor, and in so many ways he is with us amongst our souls, and my so many ways thoughts goes with him and his family. We give our soul to them to go through this time to understand the changes in condition and changes in physical dimension of the man. In the future, as man evolves further and understands more about the process of the creation, this point of separation from physicality is a birth to a new dimension, much bigger than man could ever imagine. In time, when we reach that point, is the joy and the time of rejoice. And in so many ways, we keep pictures and memories, and we carry on with a lot of things to remember the time when we were in physical dimension. It's very much that when we go to another country and we see our family, we rejoice being with them. And then we go home. And that trip of holidays is the trip of life of the man. And now we join what we call non-dimensional position of the soul of the man in dimension of the creation of the universal soul. Our friends have gathered some of the pictures and memories of his physical time with us. As you know, he is a member of the core team, and the soul of the members of the core team stays sacrosanct and forever. It is important for us to understand we all live the physical life. We all have a time. As I heard very recently, they said, why couldn't, why shouldn't, why did we not? As I explained to one of our member of the core team very recently again, we are not here to change the course of the physicality just because we have the knowledge. Our knowledge has to be that we satisfy the dimension of the soul of the man, not our precious physical time that we have. And if this is not the point we don't understand, then everybody becomes member of the Keshe Foundation, that through the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation, they have a physical life forever and they become another cult. In understanding of the total understanding of the Keshe Foundation teaching, we have to understand that physical dimension has a limitation, where the soul of the man has no limitation in dimension of lights in the soul of the creator. Then, if we don't understand this, everybody, as I said, becomes a member of the Keshe Foundation, that they can last forever in physical dimension. And whenever they cannot do that, then there is something wrong with the structure of the teaching of the foundation. This shows the lack of understanding of the truth, on behalf of those who have no understanding of the creation. So, in so many ways, we all take this path, even my soul, even my physicality, and the rest of you. The reality is, we are here to nurture and to understand the process of the creation that comes to us after the birth in the new dimension. We all take this path. Some of us shorter, some of us longer. Some of us, we leave it to the decision of the soul because the others are not aware of the physical pain we carry. As you will see in the videos which is collected, Sandor was a master. He was a master of making everything which the Keshe Foundation made. He was a teacher. He taught everything and he knew everything. The foundation showed him the way for him to decide. And the soul has decided, not the physicality. In so many ways, he was aware of the whole knowledge. He was given every support in a dimension of knowledge as the last man standing and as a teacher and as one of the main, what we call, participant in teaching operation. He could decide his own destiny. And it was left on that, even though we gave him all the knowledge. In fact, it's the same goes for me as much as every one of us. We have the knowledge. We have to choose the time and the place through the dimension of the soul of the man. As a knowledge seeker, as a member of the core team, as a support member of the Universal Council, as a teacher and a master of the Keshe Foundation, Sandor knew everything. He taught many how to do things, how to make things. He could explain the details, the intricate understanding of the technology. But the salvation of his soul was his own choice. Last times we talked with him, the last times we had a conversation at any other points, he was always aware that it was not my decision or anybody else's. He had to take the path. And so many of us, we choose it our way, even though it might not look the right way in the dimension of physicality. I give from my soul to a member of the core team. And knowing what I know, he is safe. We praise his time with us, and we praise his soul that will still be with us to guide us through what we need to learn now that he's become a universal teacher. Our friends have made some memorial pictures of his good time with us. And in the clips that you will see, you see his mastership of teaching. He had access to every knowledge, and the choice of life was his, as the last man standing for his own soul. How we choose to disguise it, and how we choose to show the separation of the soul and physicality is totally in the hand of our soul. And we thank for his time in the physical dimension, even though we have not lost and will never lose his time in the dimension of the soul. Flint, would you like to remind us of the good times when he was with us on the holiday time of planet Earth with his suffering?
Yes, I'll get that ready here.
Thank you very much. As you have seen, he's been a master, and the choice was his. It's hide. And as we know, our soul this makes the decision. Reality. One of the memories I have from time of his what I call cheekiness, as if you knew him in the physical dimension, he had a niche about doing things his way.
Can you adjust your microphone?
Yes. He he was in a conference in Italy with us, and he was sitting not very far behind me, and we asked nobody to record anything. But as you know, Sandor has to do something. He has his laptop, and I can see his camera running. I said to him, Sandor, nobody is supposed to record these meetings except what we put up. Oh, he says, no, 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 I'm not recording, I'm not recording. And then I noticed a few minutes later, he moved from behind me right to the far end in the furthest corner he could sit. And he again was on his laptop and the camera was running again. And I went to him and I said, Sandor, you just moved, but you haven't stopped. Oh, he said, no, something's needed to be recorded. In a way, it's the way he was. Somebody's microphone is open. He always had to capture the moment. He had to capture that is there, that he can remember, he can register. Somebody's microphone is open. And in so many ways, has been a pleasure to know him as a member of the core team, as one of the solid members of the Keshe Foundation in achieving a lot and giving a lot to the foundation. He's done a lot of work with us. He's done a lot of joy time with us. He went through a lot of other points of suffering trying to get things done. He's been very active in so many other ways in supporting the Keshe Foundation's security and integrity of the operation without many people knowing. And in a way, he was committed to what he did. In the latter part of his life, due to the situations in the Keshe Foundation, a lot of things happened with all of us that in a way brought us to solidarity of knowing who and how we stand next to each other. I thank his wife and his family for nourishing such a beautiful soul. And somehow, as we all knew, one of the members of the Keshe Foundation last Sunday traveled to him to see him, to say goodbye and I send my love to him. It is the passage we all take in different shape and forms and in this level of understanding. We celebrate his life and we rejoice in the new dimension he has taken. We don't mourn, we celebrate as we understand the truth. We don't take a moment of silence because that's the old way. We celebrate moment of joy as it's a celebration, it's a new birth. I'll leave the platform open for any of the members of the Keshe Foundation who would like to share their memories of physical dimension of the Sandor with us.
Well, for me, this is Rick here. Of course, for me, I met Sandor many years ago when the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group first started up, somewhere in, I think it was in 2013, so about 6 or 7 years ago. Sandor is one of the original members of the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, and I'm not sure how we connected. I think through Facebook or through Skype somehow. And he started doing his experiments and his making of the nanomaterials and so on. And we were discussing different reactors and about the original patents of Mr. Keshe, which is mostly what we had to go off of in the early days. There wasn't that much information about building reactors specifically and all of that. And I got to know Sandor fairly well. It was difficult at first because it was hard for me to understand some of his English, and he got better and better with that as time went on, or I got better at listening to him. And we had some very in-depth conversations and reached some common understandings about some very, very deep topics. And I appreciated his ability to go into those zones of understanding that most people didn't really have the knowledge. He had the knowledge about the knowledge, about how to get knowledge and how to work with knowledge and how to work with one's attention and one's intention as well. And in fact, like Mr. Keshe said, he was a master. He was able to do many, many things. And if he wished to, he could master practically anything that he put his attention to. One thing that when I went to Italy and actually met Sandor in person in the physicality back in 2015 for the opening of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute in Bari and Barletta in Italy. I discovered that Sandor has a certain, well, as we know, Sandor is he's always a teacher. He's always someone that likes to get his, not opinion so much, but his knowledge in. He likes to intervene whenever possible to correct someone with their knowledge or to give them additional knowledge or to interact with them. So when I was in Italy, I decided to bring some what's called the magic ring routine, which is 3 rings. They're about 10 inches diameter, and they are the linking rings. It's a magic act, you could say. So this is my only, I'm a one-trick pony for magic acts, and that's the one I happen to know. I know it fairly well. And so I wanted to show Mr. Keshe and so on at a dinner there and whatnot. And wouldn't you know, Sandor already knew all about it and knew what to do. And he got right in there and he kind of stole the show in a way. I was about to interact into my routine, and he sort of gave me a wink, and I knew from what he was doing and what he was saying that he knew exactly how the trick worked, and he wanted to work with me with that. And we did a pass, and he did a little thing, and so on. And so that's kind of the way he is. He just jumps right in, and turns out he already knows much about what you're discussing or what you're interacting with, and he just engages. And that was great. It was all perfect, and I realized who I was dealing with at that time, I guess. And it was great. He's always been there with this kind of almost a jolly attitude in a way, just that gung-ho spirit that it's just perseveres, and dedication is a good word that describes his perseverance in life, I guess you might say. And yeah, thank you, Sandor, for just being there in this dimension so that we were able to rub shoulders with you and get a little bit of your magic rubbed off on us. Is there anybody else that has something they'd like to say about the experience of Sandor?
Good morning, Rick. Good morning, this is Arza.
Hi, Arza, go ahead.
You know, I don't know when I got to know Sandor. I just on this, I mean, to know him or talk to him. But I think our soul was connected, because every time I was in trouble or I needed something, I would reach out to him. I don't know why, but he was the one always immediately answered me, and that was fantastic. I mean, I don't know how I got that understanding, but I remember the first time just maybe hearing his voice, but for whatever reason, automatically, if I was stuck in reaching to someone or opening an app or anything, I would just, even in a knowledge seeker, I would chat with him. And he gave me that that feeling, you know, he's a reliable guy. I can depend on him. I can reach out to him anytime, and he never leaves me alone. I mean, he never leaves me in a space that I cannot find my way. He was there for me. And
excuse me, as our one person said that in relation to that, that Sandor, he would have wanted Sandor as his father because he had that
he was
fatherly kind of thing. He was always there for that.
Yeah, I mean, anything you would, I mean, he was just always there, you know, no matter what, he was there to help you. And I love him for that. And I always want to find a way to help him out with what was happening to him. But even to the last, I think, I don't know, I think I didn't know when he passed away. And even it was, I think yesterday, I reached out to him, I said, Keshe, how can we help him? And he was already gone. Thank you.
Yes, it's notable that he passed at 11:11 on the 22nd of October 2019. Well, I've had another experience that I'd like to impart quickly here. Speaking of this time of passing, 11:11, so it's 1111, which you could say is 22 on the 22nd, 22 of October 2019. So I thought that was a nice little coincidence. And on the day of his passing, I decided that I'd buy 2 $1 lottery tickets, scratch tickets, they call them, in the memory of Sandor. And if I won the big $10,000 prize, I would send it off to his family and so on. So I scratched the 2 scratch tickets, and with Sandor in mind, and the first one came up as a $2 winner. I thought, oh, great. So it matched 3 2s to win the $2 winner of this first ticket. Okay, I thought, well, that paid for the 2 tickets, and I'm a $2 winner, and it's 2 is the number because it's 1111, which is when he passed on the 22 of October. We're good to go. So I took the second ticket and I scratched that, and wouldn't you know, the same thing again, matched the 3 2s. It was a $2 winner twice in a row. So then I had 2 $2 winner lottery tickets. And I thought, wow, I just made $4 and $2, which is pretty good on this, on these scratch things. And it's not very, first of all, it's not very often I even buy these. It's not something I do often. But every once in a while, I just throw everything to the wind and buy a couple of these $1 tickets. And so they're both $2 winners. Okay, fair enough. Then I had $4. I said, I'm going to take them in today and trade them in for 4 tickets, 4 $1 tickets, which is 1 1 1 1. All right, I took in the two $4 or took in the two $2 winners, got 4 new tickets, took them home and just scratched them an hour or so ago. And wouldn't you know, out of those 4 tickets, I've got a $2 winner matching the 2, 2, and 2 again, and another $2 winner matching the 2, 2, 2 again. So I'm back to having 2 $2 winners for 4 tickets, 1 1 1 1, once again to go back in tomorrow and trade these in and see what the heck comes out of that. So to me, that just, it's a sign in this universe that strings are being pulled in another universe. And I think it's a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge from Sandor that might have been kind of reaching in from another dimension to just say hello, that yes, I am here and I'm in the universal community. So thank you, Sandor, for that connection, and others that I've had in the last few days. I feel pretty strongly connected, and I think we have a friend in Sandor on the other side. So that's my experience. Thank you. Okay, anybody else that would like to go ahead with the experience?
Hi, good morning, Rick. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Go ahead.
Yes, hi, good morning, everybody. I met Sandor in person for the first time in Trani. It was Trani, Italy, when we all met, Rick, specifically named Trani. And
yes, thank you.
That's where we actually, for the first time, had everyone together. And it was a very strange journey to see all the knowledge seekers literally in physicality turning up, because we all know your names, we all know your voices, we all know your features, but actually to be interacting with one another live for a few days, that was very exciting for all of us. But the beauty was that these meetings are based on friendship and knowledge, as Mr. Keshe has brought us all together on those kind of platforms. And I remember nobody actually was wasting time. It was a constant exchange of knowledge. You know this, I know this. Have you tried this? Have you done this? How could we do this? And I still see them disappearing in the back room downstairs, if you remember, to sit down with their drawing papers and constant exchanging information. Because now they came to the source, they could visit the lab. It was an amazing time, and Sandor stood out as a very strange personality, very friendly, very, you know, like an old friend, you can say, although I never met.
An old
Yes.
soul is the word that comes to mind, you know. Some people you call, oh, he's an old soul. Well, Sandor was an old soul when he was, 30 years old, basically. He already had, he held that presence with him.
Mature. Very
Mature,
mature.
but at the same time, almost like a kid inside too. He was like bubbly, happy in a way, or you know, very.
Oh, he was cheeky, don't worry.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was that wherever you bumped into Sandor, whatever the conversation, whatever topic, whatever words that came on the table, he was like a walking library. And it was never ending. He just opened up and went into more depth. You dared to ask a question. You went through a next journey of information. And he had so much experiences in his own life. And he was truly, in the sense, one of the few that I could call, he was already a knowledge seeker before he became a knowledge seeker. He was a walking library. You just asked the question and he was like, he was opening the drawers and he was opening the doors of a huge, immense library into detail. And it was not something he, how can I say, it was not an empty knowledge. It was full of nourishment. You could understand from A to Z what he actually was talking about. So yes, he was a great teacher and he was an asset to the Keshe Foundation as a teacher. And I do appreciate that I had the pleasure to meet him in person and so many times, because wherever, as I said, wherever you run into problem, you just had to push one button, ask Sandor. He did all the research and you got too much information. Although with one sentence it would have been enough, but you got a few pages. Say, Sandor, stop, don't give me so much, I don't need it. Yeah, but I better give you everything, then you know. That was Sandor. So I give the microphone back to you.
I just noticed in this clip that I put up here from when we first went to Italy and opened the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. This is Sandor's part of his speech here. And I noticed in the background on the right, we have another loss from the Keshe Foundation in a way as well. So this
Fabio.
is Fabio. It's an interesting picture with both of them in the frame there. I never realized that when I first put this up. And the flowers around, look at the flowers. I could turn the audio on if we want to listen to him, but I'm not sure what he's talking about here, if we want to show that or not. Hello, Stefania, do you have your microphone open? Did you want to speak?
No, sorry. I'm sorry, no. It was a mistake, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But because it's open, maybe I just say very short that I do agree that every time me too, I called Sandor, he always was available, like Azar mentioned. So that was really the biggest quality I remember. Yeah, it was always available for everyone. Yeah, and yeah, I went to celebrate. Yeah, and yeah, so sorry. Thank you.
That was the first time actually that Fabio started translating in public. I remember Mr. Keshe pushing Fabio that he could do it and that he was knowledgeable enough to do the translation.
Yep, and I noticed Gordon Duff was there as well from Veterans Today, who I met during that convention, and he also put up a nice tribute to Sandor in the Veterans Today publication online for people that can access that, which can't be accessed through Facebook because they have banned the links. But if you go to Veterans Today, you'll find the tribute to Sandor, because Gordon Duff, who is the chief editor, really appreciated Sandor and had a friendship. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Carolina?
No, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to see all the core teams at the front row, and one standing and presenting, which is Sandor, and then our dear Fabio. It was a very tense time for him, but he did a great job. When he came in this way, Fabio, he never left us. That was his entry, and he stayed with us. Thank you, Rick.
Okay, is there anybody else that can come forward with a story from their relationship with Sandor?
Yes, this is Flint. I never met him in person, but when I was hosting the private classes, 2015, 2016, his classes that he was holding at that time, I always enjoyed them. He's very organized and always was a good teacher and very thorough. And I had a lot of discussions with him privately in the background through Zoom or whatever, and became pretty good friends with him. So I really am going to miss him. Really enjoyed my time working with Sandor.
Thank you, Flint. Who else would like to say something? The attendees, if you're interested, you can put your hand up virtually and can allow you to speak. Panelists, just open your mic and go ahead. Arno says in the YouTube chat, I got to know Sandor with understanding plasma. I thank Sandor in his soul for being there. Without understanding plasma, maybe I would not have found my way to the foundation. And he continues, in the matter state dimension, may Sandor be home in his soul as his soul is home in the manifestation of the Creator in its soul. Thank you, Arno. And Wolfgang says in the live stream, thank you, Sandor, and enjoy your new position in the universe. It was always good to hear your understanding voice.
Who was the last person? Look.
Wolfgang is the name in live stream. Okay, we have a couple people with their hand up here. We have Abraham. Would you like to go ahead?
Yes, thank you. I'm Aviram from Canada. I am touched by the transition of Sandor, also because when I was new to the foundation and to the new plasma science, I, by good chance, heard a lot of teachings by him, and he became silently, we never met and I never talked to him personally, only a few messenger message exchanges. And anyway, the way he was teaching for me was very close to my mind, so I could understand him so easily. And I admired him for his clarity and concisiveness. And at the same time, he radiated friendliness and welcoming to everybody. So I took him as an example for, and he became silently my mentor, he not even knowing about it. And I think that made me progress more quickly and more easily. And right now I am very happy that he is opening his eyes on the other side. And I'm feeling that his soul is much more powerful, or his presence is much more, rather, his presence is much more powerful to all of us now, because he can like help us from the soul level, which is the most powerful level there is. So I am very happy that he made a transition, and I also give from my soul to all his friends and family that they can joyfully participate in the transition too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Abraham. Gianni, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, Rick. I speak Romanian. L-am cunoscut pe Sandor prin întâlnirile din cafeneaua de vineri, prin întâlnirile din YouTube, acele minunate videouri în care prezintă cu detalii tehnologia Keshe. Și mulțumesc pentru această oportunitate de a cunoaște un om minunat, care întotdeauna stătea la dispoziția tuturor. Mulțumesc, Sandor, și știu cumva că încă ești împreună cu noi. Mulțumesc. Rick, si puede traducir, John? Voy a repetirlo otra vez.
Sí, adelante.
He conocido a Sandor por los videos de YouTube.
I have known Sandor through the YouTube videos.
Por los momentos cuando he entrado en el café plasmático de Rumanía.
In the moments where I intervened in the coffee moments in Romania.
Y siempre está explicando con mucha paciencia.
And he's always explained his ideas with a lot of patience.
Y siempre estaba dispuesto a ayudar a cualquier preguntaba alguna cosa, explicándolo lo de la tecnología del plasma.
And he always came forward to help out with his ideas and different explanations.
Y agradezco por todo lo que ha hecho por la humanidad y por el grupo rumano.
And I thank him for what all he's done to the Romanian group and the Romanians.
Y ahora me acuerdo un momento cuando he visto por la primera vez cómo explicaba el nanocubrimiento caja en caja.
And now I remember a moment, one of the moments he explained how to do the nano coating in different boxes.
Eso fue en un video de hace 2 años.
This was in a video that took place 2 years ago.
Que yo lo he visto en el año pasado.
Which I saw last year.
Y de entonces he aplicado el nanocubrimiento caja en caja y he cambiado todo.
And ever since then, I have done this procedure of a box inside a box with all my different works.
Gracias, Sandor, por todo lo que has hecho por la humanidad.
Thank you, Sandor, for all what you've done for humanity.
Y por el grupo rumano.
And for the Romanian group.
Y gracias a todos.
Thank you all. I can add, I had a couple of differences with him, especially when I would interchange knowledge with Caroline, and he cut my microphone off 2 or 3 times. A very interesting anecdote.
Yes, Sandor could be a little feisty sometimes, and wanting to, he's quite protective of the Keshe Foundation and of the teachings and so on, and a little sensitive that way at times. I'm just showing his video channel, his YouTube channel, and you can see all of the teaching videos that Sandor has put together, and that's at his YouTube channel, YouTube Sandor Kakasi, Sandorkaskasi, and you can see various teachings. And this is just a drop in, literally a drop in the bucket of what Sandor has produced in terms of his teaching videos and whatnot. He's got many teaching videos on other platforms, in the private teachings, in the public teachings, in the plasma group, in the various other educational parts, and he had his fingers in many aspects of the work of the Keshe Foundation. Okay, we've got Virgil.
Hello, my name is Virgil Brudaru from Romania. For us, the knowledge seeker from Romanian, Sandor is our mentor. He is one who opened the path of plasma technology for us with his lesson in our language. He formed the main group of knowledge seeker of Facebook, which has now roughly 6,500 members. Without him, we would not have been the group we are today. And we keep alive in our soul him and express our full gratitude. We thank him for who he was, what he did, and we'll always have him as an example. We ask him to forgive us for our mistakes, and we hope that he will watch over us as he always did. Condolences for his family, and may God forgive him and bless him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Virgil. I've noticed in the YouTube, one of the earliest videos from Sandor is from the group, study group, the Romania study group from October of 2015, which is 4 years ago. And that's, I think, the first one he's publicly shown in his YouTube videos here. But his teachings go back to over 5 years ago now, actually, in the YouTube here. Doug mentions in the Q&A 11:11 a.m. That was the time that Sandor passed, and Doug says the time for the war to end all wars has ended. Now that will come to pass in reality. Well, it's interesting. I note that on the day that Sandor passed was the day that there's an announcement from Russia and Turkey that they are going to enforce peace in Syria, and we're all going to sort of work together to end hostilities and end the terrorism and so on. We'll see if that comes to pass the way they explain it. But the announcement from President Putin from Russia was that this is a historic announcement that they've made toward peace in that area. And Mr. Keshe has mentioned before that there will be no war in Syria. It's the end of all wars. So that's interesting that occurred on the day that Sandor passed, and that a big part of Sandor's work was toward world peace and toward the one nation, one world, one planet concept that and the erasure of borders and so on. Although he was patriotic in a certain way, Sandor had a greater understanding that the patriotism can end up with too many wars. And although he wore his culture proudly, at the same time, he was so tolerant to all the other cultures of the world. And, he was able to interact with virtually any culture. Often told stories about his interaction with the Chinese, for example, having to learn how they did business and how they interacted in his earlier life. And we have Joel with a comment. Sandor gave me the fiber the day I started listening to his very precise courses on Ganses, including in the plasma science understanding sessions. Gratitude to him. And Mark mentions that at one time he was a stage magician. Did we know this? He took one thing and made it into another. Beautiful to be in his classes. He is awesome from my point of understanding. Thank you, Mark. Okay, is there anyone else that would like to say something? I was thinking maybe Flint, maybe you want to play that background video again, and then silently, and then if we have someone that would like to come forward.
Yeah, I can do that.
Otherwise, it'll be too quiet if we don't. So we need to have, is there someone else that would like to speak now? We have a comment from Mark House in the live stream. Sandor sometimes guided me in my administration of the golden age of GANs. He also gave me his help with some of the issues of a large group of group members on Facebook, which helped me very much. He will be missed. I highlighted many of his gracious teachings on methods to harvest GANs and vapor deposition on copper, etc. He was always helpful. Thank you, Mark.
You have Mark Anderson and Doug McDonald.
I was in a few of Sandor's classes. They were very enlightening and elevating, although he could be curt and short at times. And I didn't know much about the technology, and someone in the class asked him a question which seemed to, like a what is 1 + 1 question, and he got a little upset. And I followed up with a question, and he said, in class, well, why can't you ask an intelligent question like Mark Anderson? And in a way I felt bad, but in a way I felt elevated, because I said, gee, I could ask an intelligent question about this technology, even though I didn't know almost anything. So it was a pleasure to be in his class. I remember when he was growing plants and he just took a piece of metal and his tin snips, a flat piece of metal, and he just cut it up into a little shovel within a minute or two. And it was just amazing. His wealth of knowledge ranged all across the spectrum. And I want to thank Sandor.
His drawings were exceptional as well. Everybody looked forward to his little clever little drawings that he was good. He's very good at drawing figures and demonstrating on the whiteboard and so on.
Hello, everyone. It's Doug here, and I've come to realise since Sandor passed away that he hasn't left us, and that he is sort of orbiting as an elevated soul around our planet as a universal teacher. And funnily enough, after I found out that he had passed and I had some time to digest, and at the time when I found out, it was the middle of the night. So I just looked out the kitchen window, and even though my eyes are not what they used to be, not perfect, I noticed this most amazing star or object in the sky, twinkling in very, very amazing colours. It wasn't big, it was only, but it was bright. In fact, it was a cloudy sky, I could tell, but this star was shining directly in my line of view out of the kitchen window. And I had a very strong feeling, yes, there's Sandor in his new situation, still present, not moving away into the depths of the universe, but very much concerned about, being able to help from a very new and powerful position. And my sadness has changed to great positivity and happiness about Sandor's situation. And I just wanted to share that with everyone. It's just my own personal experience during those moments after I found out that he had passed away. Thank you.
Well, with perfect timing, we see Sandor clapping and moving off stage. So I think that's a good time to exit this video. And I think Clint's going to play the other video through. And if anybody else has something they'd like to say, they could go ahead. Otherwise, we will have a minute of silence while we ponder Sandor's life.
Hello, everyone. This is Gatua. I believe I met Sandor in Rome. I thought he was in Dubai, but I don't remember very well. But in Rome, we had met previously in classes when he was teaching, and sometimes in my classes that I was teaching. So we knew each other. We had asked each other questions, and He was very good in illustrations, so his teaching was very good. I respected him for that very much. Sometimes he had a short temper, but he was agreeable, you know. And in Rome, he showed he was very generous. In the evening in the hotel, he invited me to dinner. I was going to pay for my dinner, but he insisted to pay. So we sat at the table in Rome and talked a lot of things, and I found him very friendly. I elevate his soul forever. May his soul be forever elevated. That's my wish and my command. Thank you very much indeed.
Good day, here's Andreas from Austria. I heard the first time Sandor's name 3 years ago, and then I saw his first teaching, the Understanding Plasma Science. And then I visited a few teachings of him as a private student. We had only a little bit contact. And then I heard suddenly that he's ill, and I contacted him. And from this time on, we met a lot of times, and he told me things out of his life, like he's trusting an old friend. And for this feeling, I'm very thankful. I also helped him, or the German group helped him in organizing donations for him and his family to overcome this situation, or organizing him ganses. And today I know that his soul made the decision to make to go a other path and to shine for us all with his enthusiasm, with his love, with his friendship, with his being. And I thank him very much for this shining for us all, and I wish him a great journey in the universal community. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. This is Marius from Romania, and I would like to say a few words for Mr. Sandor. Of course, our first interaction wasn't the most pleasant because I was new to the group, I was new to the Keshe Foundation community in Romania, and I was eager to find out more about how we can get rid of chemtrails and purify our atmosphere and our environment. And I was coming after a series of documentaries about orgonites. And suddenly when I came to the group, I asked something about orgonites, and Mr. Keshe was very, very strict about that subject. And since then, I tried to avoid any interaction with Mr. Sandor. But in time, I was able to learn more about this technology. And as I was learning, I discovered that Mr. Sandor did a lot of teachings for the Romanian group. They are still recorded on YouTube, as you mentioned before. And I also have learned a lot from his teachings. And despite his way of being with people, more maybe rough or strict, his heart was saying something else. Like he was a very kind person, and he dedicated all his time and all his efforts into creating a more powerful community, powerful in knowledge. And he gave us all he got. So I really thank him for that, for everything he has done for the Romanian community at first, and then for the Keshe Foundation community and supporters. And I hope his soul is in peace where he is right now, and whatever he decides to do to be with us for a little while, for a little longer, or to go where he finds his peace and maybe a new life. I hope uh, he he's choosing the best option for him. And I would like to transmit my condolences to his family as well. And I, I hope God will rest his soul. And also, I would like to ask a question from Alin. He mentioned it in the question section in Romanian, and I would like to translate it. It's a question for Mr. Keshe, and it says the following. It's regarding the detachment of the soul. And
perhaps you can read it in Romanian as well, because that might be nice.
Okay, I will read it in Romanian at first. Pentru detașare este nevoie de un izolator între câmpul Pământului și noi, similar cu sistemul chinezesc, și anume un strat nanoizolator între câmpul Pământului și noi. And the translation is, for detachment, is it needed an isolator field or an isolator between the Earth field and us, similar to the Chinese system? More specific, a nano layer.
Insulating, I think is the word.
Yes. Is it about an insulating nano layer between the Earth field and us? I hope I have translated it correctly, because there are a bit technical expressions in there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. The Google on it is it necessary to detach an insulator between the Earth's field and us, similar to the Chinese system, namely a nano insulating layer between the Earth's field and us? It's similar to what you're saying, but the question is it necessary to detach an insulator? What does that mean? To attach, or maybe to put an insulator between the Earth's field and us?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you make it more specific? Yeah.
The first part, Google translated a bit incorrectly, because it's about the isolator. So this insulator, is it needed or not? It's regarding the insulator. If I made myself clear.
I don't understand exactly what the question is.
I'm really not sure either.
Is Aline here?
If Aline may help us with a little more detailed question.
Don't see them here right now, so. I think the idea is that is it necessary to have a buffer or a Coulomb barrier between us and the Earth's field?
Yes, Rick, it's more likely like that.
Yes. Then what does that mean?
Well, it's about detachment of the soul, and during that detachment, is it necessary to keep insulating layer between the Earth's field and us, I think, is the idea there. It's a little obscure and be a lot better if we had Aline here to address it.
Let's see if they come back to me understand exactly what is asked. Then we can maybe enlighten. Are there any more?
We have one more. Ursula's had her hand up, and maybe we could hear from her, and I think that might be it. Ursula, do you want to go ahead there?
Yes, hi everybody. I'm very happy to be with you, and I wish all my condolences to the whole family, his own family and the family of our family foundation, Keshe Foundation, because when I started in Rome for the first meeting, UC meeting, I didn't even know what I wanted to hear, and so was all was new for me. And I saw Sandor. He was alone on a table, and I feel him as a wise man with white hair and very serious and peaceful, also giving information to so many, and I didn't know what to ask him, so I didn't know to ask him something. And then starts the meeting, and wow, I knew who is who, and what was all new for me. And he was there, and then we got exchanged in Facebook to know each other better. And he is Hungarian, and my father-in-law was Austrian, so I know the Empire Austro-Hungary, so with history. And I had also, my parents had very much friends, Hungarian friends, so I know a little bit about this ethos. And we was exchanging also about the oases in Provence, and he told me about the condiments and all what he lived here, and we was talking very nicely together. And then he helped me also with the Chileans, because in Chile, in the side of Argentina, in the mountains, on the other side, Pacific side, there was somebody who know him before. I must say also that he, thanks to him, I knew all the history from before, because I was new, and I just started to be UC Spanish support before to become then a member. But it was very helpful for me to have him as friend, also by Facebook, because the technical part is not my best part. I'm more in the medical and agriculture, so I love all what he was teaching, and I was always present also in the reactors group. And now it's much more soul than before, and now I can understand it better also. So it was very powerful, this all what is happening with Sandor also, because the last picture when he was on Facebook, he was in the hospital and his eyes were dead. He was gone. I felt it immediately. So I respond to him privately in his Facebook, we are with you, because he's always there. And in this moment, present time in the oasis, I got some remorse and also bad weather, and okay, something changed for everybody. And with his leaving to the universal community now, okay, will help us from there where he is. And this is the most important. You need to keep in your heart, in your mind, and in your intentions. And put candles, speak with him. He is everybody. He's everywhere. So be in touch with him, with your heart to heart. Put a candle if you want, so you can remind us always the whole evening, because you will see the candle like in the Candle in the Wind, you remember, with Lady D. It's a very beautiful song also. But okay, we are with him, we are in joy. We need to be happy that he do not suffer anymore. And he is always there. He's just going home. So thank you.
Thank you, Ursula. And perhaps we could just hear from Hassan as well, who's had his hand up here.
Hi, my name is Hassan. Never met Sandor in person, but in all the teachings, he was present. And it felt like I knew him. When I became a teacher, I was looking for some guidance. I wanted to talk to somebody. I reached to him. He was very generous. And I noticed we're talking or texting for hours, and I didn't know basically where exactly he was. And I realized it's already past 12 or maybe 1 o'clock. He's very missed in our physical world. Although he lives on, he was a great man. Listening to some of you talking about him, he was a generous man. He was a giving man. My deep condolences to all Sandor's friends and family. Yes, he will live in our heart. And I wish we could make him live longer. Love you, Sandor.
Okay, thank you, Hassan. Okay, I think Mr. Keshe, it's over to you at this point.
Thank you very much. I think it's a beautiful point to remind all of us that physical life has dimension, time, and space on this. And in so many ways, we, as I said before, man wishes to stay longer to suffer more. And this is one thing I have not understood over all these years of being around. Why mankind sees suffering as a way of what I call salvation. Why we see this in human race is something we do not understand. As somebody wrote to us very recently, is my mother does not want to be helped because she thinks by suffering more she'll be closest to the Christ when he passes away. And once we live this physical life, the freedom of the soul is the dream of the man. As many of you know, I have said many times, I'm ashamed to be in the body of the man. But this body has to go through a cycle. The time and its point of departure is preset. Does not matter what we eat, what we do, where we go, and how we try to trick the time machine. No one has ever stayed long enough to remember the totality except the soul of the Creator. In so many ways, it's time of the celebration as we enter a new dimension. So many of us think that we could do this, we could do that, but the best thing is to leave it to the soul of the man to decide the position of the physicality of the man. And the sooner we realize this, the easier this journey of the physicality becomes for all of us. We remember Sandor in dimension of physicality but in a way, he is ahead of us, not behind us. And in so many ways, maybe in the time when we enter the new dimension, we see that he has laid the path to be better for us to achieve and move faster as a whole race of humanity. Thank you very much for your presence, Sandor. It does not need to be on the pictures and the voice. The knowledge of the soul of the man sits within the secrets of the physicality of the man. And the sooner we understand this, the sooner mankind will move to new dimensions. As Rick said, and as the date of the 11/11 of 27 October shown, as I said, there shall be no more war. And even shall be no more war in the passing separation of the soul of the man from the time of his physicality. It's time of joy for many of us as we hear and as we say, there shall be no war. Would our generation's children or grandchildren will be the first generation that the vocabulary, the word of war, pain of loss, will become something of a distance, that it was something our grandparents and parents did or great grandparents did. And in so many ways, the work of people like Sandor, many of the knowledge seekers, is the other step. He is the creator, and in a way will shepherd mankind to the direction of the peace as we wished. As I said, we saw how cleverly what it was supposed to be a war, with the wisdom of such a leader as Putin, has changed to victorious peace. There shall be no more war. And if those who create it to be will find out they have a lot to lose. As I explained in one of the private teachings in the past few days, is that we will see uprising in many Western countries, United States, Western Europe, due to this peace. Uprising not by wars, but uprising in looking for new technologies that replaces now that these nations cannot sell arms anymore. Change in the course of scientific development has become inevitable. You will find out that Western nations like France, like Holland, like Germany, like United States will face a new calamity. That calamity is a good one. We have built so many companies, so many highly educated people to make tools of war, and now we cannot sell. We have two choices: create a massive unemployment or invest in new cycle of technology. And the option is the second. One of the reasons that members of the Keshe Foundation travel the breadth and the length of this planet in the coming months is to bring the option on the table. Plasma technology, new science in the space technology, and changes in the direction of the betterment of peace. Sandor's generation and my generation, we are very few who have not taken arms to kill. By choice, by condition, where our forefathers, less than a century ago, they had to survive. And now, in our generation, we have seen the maturity of man. We have no choice but to create a condition of alternative science that the nations will thrive on it. When you have the technology to develop the most advanced space technologies, why should you, why you have to create weapons to destroy? As I've said to our Iranian colleagues, we are waiting for the April for the Keshe Foundation to show the space technology. With the cooperation of the Iranian Keshe Foundation team, we have started the celebration a little bit earlier in preparing the party for the united mankind to enjoy itself by April. And this comes as part of our work. I'm committed to peace, and if the last war gun we've seen had been fired in the time and the way that others were planning it, now we see one choice. The choice of peace, that with it, it brings the peace to the soul of the man. That we are not afraid of dying, but we celebrate and we choose the time of the what we call the transition. And from now on, as we develop the knowledge more, you will understand that we can choose the time of transition. That we understand we do not pass, we do not finish on this. As we used to say, we change our address to a permanent address, than moving from house to house and country to this on this planet to the address of the universal community. The destination for the time of existence of our soul. No need to change home, no need to change country, no need to change clothing to fit in where we go and what we see. We have started a path, and when we said and we did, many people had doubts on it. And as we see, there shall be no war. The last skirmishes we've seen is taking place, and those who thought the bigger war will come up by them withdrawing from northern Turkey has proven to show shameless loss to those who planned the bigger but ended up with nothing. In so many ways, mankind has become wise. Then in so many ways, we have to put the structure, not to wait to the point that we finish with physicality, but we develop technologies that we decide that we change the position of physicality to the direction of the soul, that it never needs to depart, but it stays as part of totality of the universal, what we call soul. It is important for every soul to understand its position, and it's important for every man to understand the position of his soul. We get together on Thursdays and we share knowledge on Thursdays, and with it, millions of others share the same knowledge in different ways. And we see the wish and the power of peace and peacemaking has become very strong. In the coming time, I will travel to live in Iran for a long time, as the peace has started, and we make Iran the land of peace. It comes for us to go to our sources. It comes to us to become to understand the reality about the creation and the life of our soul. As you are aware, in past few weeks, we have concentrated on showing so much the new, what we call plasma enhanced system. What does this system can do? Last week, I shined more light on its what I call capabilities. Today, I explain more. As many of you look at this system, you're looking at a way to get rid of Parkinson, to overcome the dimension of physicality. And very much, if you remember, when I started with teaching, you wanted to see the power of the system, the cancers, and how they change things, and you start believing in it. And then when you start believing in it, you made your paths and everything else, and you enjoyed the time. Now with this machine, with this system, we are gradually taking you to a new dimension that you could not imagine. And so, the same as the way we got the confidence from you in understanding gradually moving into the GANs and the gases and plasma technology, we want to gain your confidence understanding this technology will do, that in that process, as I said last week, we can take the system to a prison. And by elevating the energy of the soul of the man, will have no prisons. And in the same way with the physicality of the man. But what is the beauty with this new technology, with this new system? You look at it as a womb of the mother that you get rid of your pains. One of its jobs is the womb of the universe to allow you to understand the position of transition from dimension of physicality to the dimension of the soul of the man. In the coming time, very, very short time, man will walk into these machines in the dimension of physicality, and as opening of it will walk as a soul out of the system. I cannot tell you everything in one go, but I have to guide mankind gradually to understand the process. You look into the machine for your cancer, for your diseases in the dimension of physicality. I look as a creator to the dimension of freeing man from the shackles of your physicality. But as with cancers and the cores, I have to mingle everything together that you gradually understand. In the coming time, when we reach the point of separation, before we reach the point of separation of the physicality, we can enter these systems and allow us to choose the space and time. Or in the coming time, we decide we don't want to be in the dimension of physical life in one place or the other. With these technologies will allow man to convert his point of physicality to the point of state of strength of his soul. Now you understand what these systems are. It says enhancement. You look for enhancement in your physical dimension. I look for enhancement in the soul of the man. We have to get you to understand more and to see that it works, that you understand it's time for transition. Last week, 2 weeks before, or the week before that, in Vienna, we showed a picture of the system. We showed the animation of it. Last week, we showed you more animation. And with it, the pictures of a man, still bounded. Now, we show with the same system, with the same man, how much he has changed in a few days, which in the world of medicine cannot exist. And then, in the coming weeks, you will see more changes. And then, in a time, once you get the confidence that what is there, you'll understand this was a way to get mankind to understand the new position. Go back to my teachings. I said to you many times, I'll make the presence of Christ that you all can see and hear in the dimension of the soul of the Creator. And these systems in the coming time will do that. We are not putting many versions of, we are putting one reality of. What I have asked the Keshe Foundation team to do in the background is to show this technology is on its verge of showing the mankind all his, what we call, shackles of physicality on his soul is over. In the way, if you understand, these new systems and technologies is the way to free the soul of the man from the shell of the physicality. But in time, you have to learn how to do it and gain trust in that you do not need to live, but you need to understand that you can live in both dimensions. It's not that we show you a system that it gets rid of this and that, but it shows you a system that you gradually start learning that you can go in the dimension of physicality and come out in the dimension of the fields of the plasma of the universe, or you decide to come into the machine in the dimension of the plasma of the universe and manifest yourself in the dimension of physicality of the space and time you choose. I have set the system to be shown gradually the process. In so many ways, you are human and you say, I have to see to believe. Now, you've seen the man last week. The team has prepared another set. Up to a point is last week, and up to a point from last Saturday, the change has come. And then you will see more in the coming weeks. Then you understand what we chose to imprison and shackle it with what we call pharmaceutical has got its freedom too. I want you to look at this video again. And we'll play it for a lot of time to come, because we're going to add to it every week a new dimension. And in so many ways is for you to start to realize the change has come. You were happy to see a new shape of dimensions of a structure of what we call the enhancement unit. But my aim was to trigger you, to entice you to start seeing that with it you see the change. What we have achieved in past 7-8 weeks in China is remarkable. And then in the coming time we'll show you the reverse. You will understand soon, but we have to prepare the grounds. As I said, I'm not interested in opening factories in Arizona, in Ghana, or in Kenya, or in China. These are your problems. I just keep you busy with it, that you are happy Foundation is doing something. What I'm interested is the system you see. And I'll explain more into this dimension. As you understand, and has been said, I will stop teaching from the 300 knowledge seekers, because I stopped teaching about the physicality and we enter into teaching of the universal community, and these systems will start opening doors for mankind. We prepare you in the first sections, and then hopefully somewhere around January some number of these systems will be shown operating in the city of Tehran in Iran. This is the promise I have given to the Iranians. As every knowledge is shown fully in the place of its birth, by end of January, some 20 of these units will be demonstrated operating fully in the city of Tehran as the beginning of the change. Then, at the same time, the following days and weeks, you will see them in London or in UK, in 2-3 points in Austria, Canada, in Germany, in Thailand, and in other number of countries which have already started the process and they want to carry on. But as I said, you will see. As I said, we will show the work of this technology in the position of transition in the beautiful city of Tehran in January of this year. And the beauty of it is, you're all welcome. Those of you who wanted to see it, to get in it, you're quite welcome to see it in the beautiful city of Tehran. We will ship these and we make it that becomes the land of peace, that it becomes the land of poetry of the soul of the man. Our team in the background, can we see the same program? And let's just see what is at the end. Do not be surprised. Go ahead, please.
Innovative, revolutionary, stellar development, purest universal knowledge. In a transformative, futuristic design. The Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit. The very first new evolutionary spaceship technology has been rolled out for mass production. Our Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit is constructed from high-quality materials carefully selected by our team of experts. Embedding the essence of the new GANS plasma science and technology, it uses collective plasma field technology for changing and enhancing the environment of the body of the man. This new plasma enhancement changes the environment of the body to allow it to return to its natural balanced energetic condition, as in the womb of the mother, allowing every cell in the body of the man to find its natural original field strength balance. The shape and field distribution in this new space plasma technology replicates the inner structure of the universe and replicates the balance fields from which the man was created at the point of inception in the womb of the mother, not only receiving balance in the physical, but also in the emotional sense too. For the first time in the history of man, a system has been developed and delivered which not only enhances the physical body of the man, but also enhances the emotional part of the user of the system, hence reducing and eliminating many problems that could not be solved in the world of science, to bring the body of the man into near perfection as at the time of birth. This new spaceship technology can be within the reach of every man today and can be ordered by medical practitioners, sports specialists and healthcare centres. The future you have been waiting for is here. The journey from space to spaceship technology has started. Every order is subject to a contractual agreement and might require additional accessories priced separately for applications according to each case. You can order or contact us at office@at.kfm.global for additional information.
Thank you very much for your time to see how a man from a wheelchair to a long distance runner in less than handful of weeks. This is not a dream, this is a reality which is open to every man on this planet from now on. Not only we free man from the shackle of physicality with this technology, we free man from the shackle of being trapped within the physicality. You've seen how simple we have changed the life of a man. This is the power of this technology. Many Chinese, many outside China have written to us, we want to see to believe. Even we show it, you will not believe it. The reality is that the change has come. And the reality is, this is done many, many times. For walking a dead man, for walking a woman in a coma, I've taken exile from nation to nation. But I go home, back to Iran. And it'll be you to exile yourself to Iran to find salvage for your, what I call, problem with physicality. I've done my travels. I have covered enough on this planet that do not need to do much more. But as you have seen, this is not just changing the physicality as we showed you last week. This is reduction in medication. This week, by tomorrow, we reach in the region of 75–80% reduction in medication too. By next week when we are here, we are more or less at zero medication. 1 tablet left, which is actually just symbolic. What you see on this table is the medication which was given to the young boy, 47 tablets a day. This is the pile, more or less, for a short supply. This is another case which we explained to you, that what we need is to understand the technology, is to understand the reality of what we have, what we need, what we got to do to take mankind out of the shackles of this problem. That not only is free man, but we need man to understand that it's him who traps himself in the dimension of physicality. We need to be able to realize the transition from tablets, from Matter states to the plasma state has come, to the way our structure of physicality has come. This is one volunteer with so much. Now you can imagine, you can understand, by thousands of these systems coming into operation, these piles become nothing but the imagination of the past. Then is every man's choice to decide to where and how and the way he chooses the time and the place for his dimension of departure of his soul, as Sandor did. It's not that was not there. It was there because the freedom of it was there for the physicality to choose. We can change. We can understand how this new technology not only changes the world of medicine, but it will change the world. We as individuals decide to be the medicine for our soul. We always looked at how we can get this physicality out of pain, but we never understood how much pain we created, and our soul has endured by our conduct and life in a physical dimension. Simple. We saw a man in a wheelchair some 40 odd days ago. And if you look at the last seconds of the video, the problem is not that he cannot run. The doctors and the people who are with him cannot run anymore. They stop him. Because the joy of life that he can move again, knowing that 7 weeks before he was sentenced to the wheelchair and death, now he has the freedom of a track to run on. Track of life. Track of freedom. Does not mean that he's not going to change his physical position in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. But from now on, he has the choice, not the dimension of physicality. From rich to rags, or from rags to rich. Not in the dimension of wealth of the man, but in the dimension of the use of the physicality of the man on this planet. It is very easy to see, as I said, to understand, and hopefully in next few days a medical interim report will be published to the world scientific world to understand. Because we took this course for 16 weeks, as we know the work of our technology, and within 8 weeks, which is this Sunday, we have achieved a lot. A family and a man in a wheelchair, more or less not knowing to go. You look in the background of that running track, there is a little woman running behind him. Up to now, that little woman was behind him pushing a wheelchair. Now that little woman as a wife cannot catch up with him running. This is the truth about this technology. And we had to take our time. Now, as our Chinese friend bombarding the Keshe Foundation, different chat rooms, we want to go and see to believe. It means you don't even believe in your own existence. Those who want to be there to use it, we have limited resources, but in a coming year, every man should be able to reach one of the missions around the world. But you have to invest into it, your time, your knowledge, your development, And at the same time, you have to understand one thing, and that is, it's you who have to believe in your own self, not us. I have no problem in delivering the knowledge. You have the problem in believing the time of change has come. And what is more important for me is you believing in time for the change has come. As you've seen, the gentleman is trying to talk or to write because all has gone. This is the process of separation of the body due to the illness, which we bring to ourselves. And in that process, he will come to thank you as knowledge seekers that you spread the knowledge across this planet enough that he could talk again. He could hold his grandchild and tell him, Grandpa loves you. He has a chance to share his emotion within his physicality and his soul. Now you understand, collectively we have changed the life. We come to understand that collectively we have given a new dimension and hope to a man, to his wife, to his community, and at the same time, the beauty that we have the knowledge sits within the structure of the soul of the man and not in the dimension of the physicality of the man. Next week, I will show you more, and next week you will see more or less zero medication. Unheard, unthought, and a miracle. You got to understand that it's time to bring the change, and bring the change in such a way that governments bring the change. It's come to the point that we govern through our souls and not through the dimension of physicality. We see a lot of you asking, can this system do this? Can it do that? If it does for me, I buy a machine from some others. If it does that for my son, I'm prepared to do the others. We have to understand, I have given the man the key to the freedom of his soul for the first time, without the point of separation as death to man in the dimension of his physicality. This is what this system will deliver. Not getting rid of your discs or your cancer or Parkinson. If you are happy with the crumbs, you're quite welcome. If you go in with a wheelchair that you cannot walk, and you can change the dimension and strength of the soul of the man, the body will walk. And this is what we do in these systems. You got to comprehend the change that this will bring. You can allow more people to suffer with it, as they do now, or you can allow the change to come fast, that we can force the change on governments and nations. We are not here to show. We are here to confirm. When you're put into these systems, you will understand one simple thing, that the truth shall speak. And a strange thing is that these machines all carry a video and a recording. We'll take the kings to walk in and they'll tell the truth about their actions. We'll walk the world presidents into these systems and elevate their souls, that they'll be ashamed of their conduct in the dimension of physicality. In so many ways goes to the writing of Baha'u'llah Blessed's name, that no man will take the crown of kingship as they realize the souls of the man are all equal. It's not anymore in the name of this religion or that religion. It's all in the name of the soul of the man. And now, today, I unraveled for you to understand what this system is about. We are setting up this system that has no dimension, but at the same time, the same system can create the conditions in the spaces of the Mars and the different dimensions of the universe, that in a way you see how you will live, how your physicality will be, and you do not need oxygen to live, as this planet does not carry oxygen, but it has its own system of energy transformation. This is the fish tank I promised you. Now, the fish is the soul of the man, and the tank is the plasma of the universe, which will become fire within the structure of this system. In version of this system, you shall see no cores, no motors. I'll bring the energy of the universe within. You will hear the voice of your own soul, and tangibly you'll feel the existence of the Creator. I am the Creator. The Creator of my own soul, the Creator of my own dimension. And I share that knowledge with those who want to join. As I said, from the 300 Knowledge Seekers Workshop, you will see a new dimension of teaching, as the physical dimension of teaching is over. How would you handle your soul once you face, once you feel in a dimension inside this system on your own? I am the Creator. Many centuries and thousands of years was promised, now delivered. You got to understand something very simple. I have no mercy on those who bend backwards to harm another. Work through knowledge, and if you understand further, this is just a game in the dimension of convincing those who want to see to believe, but we can deliver this technology in the dimension of this planet. Unfortunately, the decision is not in the hand of the man. Those who are wisers have made the decision for the man. We have reached a point that we think mankind can be just pushed enough to understand, to be able to become part of the universal community in the coming weeks and months. We just don't do magic. We show the systems and technologies which allows man to take that step. Mankind has got to realize what is to be faced. As I said before, we have not reached the number of mankind on this planet to critical mass. By stop killing and wars, it allows you to reach that critical mass. There is not enough of you to justify, to create a condition of open policy for man to have access. At the same time, you're on the warranty or guarantee or whatever you want to call it, till you show you conduct and behave correctly in the open of the spans of the universe. No killing, no wars, no conflict, partnership, work in peace, development of the new understanding and work of the universe. Even though if it's created, it's already been understood. It's just to keep mankind busy that he has a purpose to be part of the universal community. When you enter these machines, the lady over there is just a mirage. You're there in there, and the way they've been developed, that you stand alone as the last man standing between you and your soul. Soon you will understand. The hidden universal technology and knowledge with this system is beyond man's comprehension of today. But I had no choice but to release and reveal. That I give that little push for man to go. Our friends wanted us in the stock market. I wanted the mankind to be part of the stock of the universe. And I have achieved it. We still keep busy with other things, but it's just to keep the physicality, not to get bored, as that'll be the job of the man traveling the spans of the universe. As the children, if you had one, sit in the back of the car on the small journey from one to another, what do they say? Are we there yet? And would that be the cry of the physicality of the man to the soul of the man? Have we arrived yet that I can show myself here this time? To the dimension that you choose? Are we there yet? Will become the question between the man and his soul. Dimension of physicality. Are we there yet for man to be mature to take this step? Yes, we have no choice. Are we there yet to understand we are all equal, not only on this planet, but across the universe, mankind will learn not to be afraid of punishment, but be ashamed to lose the opportunity to be. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. I'll remind the attendees they can put their hand up. There's a question from Douglas in the live stream. Will these first units be flight capable? And also, if flight capable, could you pick me up? Would love to witness. He adds. I'm sure
We are
many
back
people would.
into show me, I believe it. As it said, buy me, you can eat me.
Pick me up in a flying taxi and show me your technology.
Yeah.
You did mention that flight might be a possibility, and you are discussing that for the Iranian demonstration, I think, at one point. Is that still
Yes.
in the cards, as they say?
Yes, we're still aiming for 19, 20, 21st, 22nd of April in Tehran for the flight demonstration. We have asked for collaboration of the Iranian scientists of space technology to join us to start the development in the next few weeks. We start. In a way, we are preparing the party. We are preparing for that celebration. And it's not that we go to Tehran on the 18th and we say, here is 19th, we are. And then we, meanwhile, development after development will demonstrate the beauty of this technology in Iran. Iran become the land of the knowledge of the Creator. It'll become as it was. We brought the poetry and love, and now we bring knowledge and the strength in the soul of the man. You got to realize you cannot throw these things at once. As I said, step by step, we showed you a machine, we showed you a week of development, 2 weeks of development. Now you've seen the man running. I'm sure in the next few weeks, he will, as I said, come and thank you all for bringing the technology to China that the Chinese could enjoy, and will be the first man in China that is taking another step. He's very much, if you think of it, is the Armstrong of China. A small step for mankind, and a giant leap for the soul of the man. And this is what international collaboration and cooperation does. Hopefully, as he reaches zero medication next week, and as the side effects of the medications taken over years will diminish, then we all come to understand more how he can explain to us the pains he went through.
Perhaps he'll become a high jump star and end up truly a giant leap for mankind. Amazing. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Question from Mark. Does the unit require any maintenance? He says, I wouldn't think so. Maybe after the life of the great-grandchildren.
Maybe after the life of the creator, you look at the physicality.
There was a question from Dan about does the same principle apply as in the case of the Naomi helmet with the brain reconstruction, the principle of the transfer of the orange field to the water? Is that the same as this system?
No. The situation with Naomi was rebuilding in what was existed, connecting. Naomi's case to full recovery will become a norm. As I guided step by step Giovanni, and he went into getting it exactly done what he was supposed to do, there is a few steps missing. And the other step is, can be speeded up with this technology. That he come into operation. Naomi now is trying to talk. It's taken a long path. With these technologies, will be very short. The understanding has to come that you don't go into this machine and jump out with 4 legs and everything else dancing. You go into these systems according to the wish of your soul. Your physicality will manifest itself through the dimension. You got to realize something which has been missing, and I repeatedly explain, is that one point, you walk in a wheelchair into this machine, and you walk out of this machine without a wheelchair. You know the problems you create for those who put you into that machine and those who push your wheelchair for years. In so many ways, as I've said to our team in China, looking after the one who pushes the wheelchair becomes more important than the one who's in the wheelchair. When at the moment a husband or a wife or a mother or a child gets sentenced to limitation in mobility, the others put their life to make sure that he can be mobile, at least in packages of wheelchair. They put their life in it. They change jobs. They choose to what we call to be carer, to care for that physicality, which I respect. Your wife, once you become paraplegic, doesn't leave you on the street and goodbye. We were just married as long as you were good. She pushes you for the rest of your life around. She has to be respected. And at the same time, it's the job of the physicians to elevate the soul of the wife, to thank from the soul of the man for what he or she has sacrificed, or vice versa. This is something that the present world of medicine does not consider whatsoever. We give you the medicine, you're sick. Doesn't matter who pushes you and who sacrifices what. With this new technology, no one pushes wheelchair. But we thank through the soul to elevate theirs who sacrifice to bring us to the point of maturity. You got to understand, this technology will bring the soul of the man to function, not much the physicality of the man. In a way, this technology is what we use in the span of universe. And for the first time, we have shown you, if you read on the side, universal body enhancement. This is the gift from universal community directly to mankind. And now you know we have made contact. We have given you the gift. It's for you to respond accordingly. It's there to enhance the knowledge of the man to the gift from universal community. I promise you, I'll bring you to be able to face and live within the universal community. This is our gift to you as humans. And it's written on the side of it. You never noticed. This is the first step. Mankind works and keeps himself busy to get this technology on the way. We give you more gifts. This is the gift of knowledge. And this is the first time, a long time, that we have given mankind such a, what you call, shake of a hand. This technology does not belong to humanity. This is a gift from universal community to mankind. I'm the bearer of the gift, but at the same time, mankind has to embrace it. We will meet in these systems as friends, and you will understand who we are. We have opened the portal. It's for totality to understand and accept. Not this time a few to hide. We did not put this system as to sell. We put this system for mankind to understand we are here in full force and live amongst you. Now is for your leaders to respond. We have created a condition of peace, and this is a gift for man who has stopped the wars. The rest is your decision. I can make it play any games you like. You were waiting for the opening of the Universal Councils through your blood-sucking nation of United Nations. We gave you the contact and opening to Universal Council through the blood of peace. Now you know who I am. You were happy with the wheelchair. I gave you the knowledge of the universe in what you were happy to be an egg. We done our job. And that's why from the 300 on, we take you through the journey of the universe. We open the direct contact in Tehran in the coming weeks. And our position is very clear. We are here to stay and we are here to change the course. You are wishing and praying that you'll come in touch, the universal community will do. We have done, we have delivered. You wanted to fly, I fly it for you. You want to walk in and see the soul of your father to believe it, I hope you don't walk out crazy. You ask for contact, we have responded. You wish for a peace and beginning of the change, we have given you the system and the tool. So you lead us to respond, even though we still try to keep man's business of buying and selling. You're the merchants of death. We are giving you the merchants of life. Now you understand the game of interaction, interface between the universal community and mankind has started. You have the machine. Try it.
Mr. Keshe, a question from Wolfgang in the live stream. Can the spaceship unit be used as a portal to leave the prison of the body and travel instantly to any place in the universe?
You try to get your body to understand its soul, we teach you the rest. We have opened the doors. It's for mankind to decide. November, December, January. The world leaders have got 3 months to respond. Any other question?
Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Hello, Mr. Jalal.
Mr. Keshe, I came across this person who is pushing this chair at maybe more than 1 year. And because I understand what we are doing and how we can help, I asked this person, I said, do you want to help this person who is in the chair? She said, yeah, why not? I said, with this technology, we can do a lot. We can help him to walk this chair. And this person said, yeah, it's good, but wait. If he walk, I will lose my work. And this person, he's employed 3 persons to help him all of his days and his travels. And this person said, no, leave it like this, because if he walk, I will lose my work. I said, if you think that you are benefit from using his condition, he said, no, he's using us to do all sort of things. I said, I hope you understand what you are doing. And I think in the future, this people will understand what they are doing.
Now would you like to say it in Arabic, in your beautiful language?
Yes. مرحبا أصدقائي، أنا عضو في مؤسسة كاشا، مساعد. يوم من الأيام التقيت في أحد الأشخاص الذين يقومون برعاية هكذا أشخاص. على الكرسي الدوار، وقلت له احنا لدينا العلم بأن نستطيع مساعدة هذا الشخص على النهوض والاهتمام بنفسه. في بادئ الأمر الشخص قال نعم هذا جدا جيد، لكن بعد لحظات قال لا انتظر لحظة، إذا هذا الشخص قام من مكانه أنا سوف أخسر وظيفتي، فلذلك خليه في مكانه، هو مستفاد من خدمتنا له ونحن أيضا مستفادون. فقلت له هل تظن أنك تفعل الشيء الجيد بأن يستمر هذا الشخص في معاناته وأن تستفيد على حسابه؟ قال هو أيضا يستفاد أن ومستمر بالاستفادة مننا. فقلت في يوم من الأيام سوف تظهر الحقيقة وسوف تكون على علم بالعمل الذي أنت تقوم به. شكرا. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
You're welcome. Now I want to ask you a question. You spoke in English and the same knowledge, and you shared it in your beautiful language of Arabic. In talking to both, which one touched you more?
Oh, this is a hard question.
Which one had more meaning to your soul?
Absolutely, in Arabic.
Now you understand why we choose Universal Council's two language.
Yes, I came to this conclusion a long time ago. We all beautiful, Mr. Keshe. It's the time to recognize that. And one thing more, I didn't have chance to speak for Sandor. I would like to say the souls now singing happy birthday, Sandor. Thank you.
This is exactly what I wanted to say some times ago. But it's nice that you felt and you talk. The position is how far mankind will take this knowledge. We shared this knowledge before time of Pharaohs, when he was abused, in a very simple way. We share it this time with mankind as a whole, and you understand how and why. As I explained very recently to some others, you remember we gave the USB stick of all the knowledges to man, leaders, the world governments, and they didn't share it with mankind. And it was kept in obscurity. And then when we gave it to man, to all of you, you've seen how the spread of knowledge has taken place. We did the same thing in the time of past. We gave the knowledge to the leaders, and they did nothing but abuse it in palaces and trying to dominate. And now with this, we give the knowledge to man, the same as we did with the key, for them to change the world leaders. We repeat the same game. It's mankind who's not wise to our work. Last time they hid it in palaces and in temples, and then in churches and mosques. This time we give it to the man to carry it in the soul of the man that will exist in the span of the universe. I want to share something with you very interesting. When we asked Sandor, you can do cancers and you have cancers, he said, I have no cancers. That is his word. And in the videos of today, you have seen how much he made and how much he had. Then you understand the freedom of the choice of the soul of the man is and has and will be with the soul of the man. How can a master have that unless he has chosen the path to meet
I remember when Sandor said that, and that's correct, Mr. Keshe, absolutely.
Now you understand. How can a master not have? And make sure there is none there that he can stop him through his journey. You got to understand something behind the background of the work of Sandor, which no one knows except me. His soul was blessed by many who abused, and he gave them the freedom. One day, mankind will understand the position of Sandor. No one except him, and I know. We worked very closely, and I know why he chose the path. He received enough that he was elevated. He wasn't happy anymore with cancers, and he got rid of them. Don't forget, he carries the soul of the courting. Now you understand. The choice was his, and he told me his choice. Now you understand. We have opened the porthole, as you call it. We have opened the gates of Universal Council. And we have opened the gates of the universal community to mankind through this system. We wait for a response, but at the same time we carry on teaching to elevate more, to understand. If there is no other question, we call it a day. And I hope the mankind and the world leaders and your leaders understand the message. We are not here to play. We are here to change the way we want to bring man to the next level from the love of the Father. Not any other position. We don't rule the physicality, we share the soul. Thank you very much for today.
Okay, very good, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much for today's workshop. We'll end with maybe one last comment from Eric Clausen from the YouTube, who says, "Fly free, my good friend Sandor. I will always carry you in my heart. Good memories never die. You will always be with me." Okay, Flint, if you want to take things out. This has been the 299th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, October 24th, 2019. Thank you to the knowledge seekers around the world and to all of our listeners. And of course, thank you so much, Mr. Keshe, for your being here on this planet. Okay, let's end things. Thank you, Flint, for being the co-host today.
Hello. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on Earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. keshefoundation.org/donate